They cut me from the list. My sister's choice, not fate. I had covered her rent. I had signed her urgent care forms. I had filled her job applications when she cried. 3 days before her wedding, I was erased. One envelope would change that seating chart and silence the family chat. My name is Claire Thompson. I'm 42. A nurse in Chicago. The microwave blinked 5:42. Yesterday's coffee smelled burnt. My family first pen lay by the mug. That pen paid her rent through Zelle. That pen signed urgent care copays. That pen signed her job onboarding forms. 2 days ago, Samantha texted. Guest list is final. Tough cuts. 1 hour later, her Instagram. So excited, 180 guests. Tough cuts meant me. Her sister. Who decided I don't count? I called my mother, Linda. The sigh came fast. She said, It's just a wedding. I replied, Small? At 180? Pause. Her favorite pause. She said again, Don't make this bigger. I closed the call. I opened flights. Chicago to Miami. T72H until rehearsal dinner. Not a trip, an answer. At work, the pen pressed against my scrub pocket. The hallway lights buzzed. Monitors beeped down the hall. A clerk asked, Rough night? I nodded once. Why am I always the understanding one? T66H. Family chat lit up. Be the bigger person. Same line. Always the same. I placed the phone face down. On a sticky note I wrote venue email. USPS box. I scrolled messages from my cousin Melissa. She asked, You okay? I typed, Fine. She answered, They say you refused. I wrote back, Who decided I don't count? Clocked out. I drove home. The pen lay across the steering wheel. Trucks passed. No music. Just road noise. At a plaza I bought bitter coffee. Receipt crumpled in my pocket. Evening. I booked a room in downtown Miami. The glass in my hand colder than home. In the room, Family First glared under the lamp. I signed the hotel pad with my full name. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. T60H. The phone buzzed. Unknown numbers. I ignored them. Somewhere Samantha laughed in a salon chair. Somewhere Linda excused my absence. I opened notes. 3 items. RSVP scan, seating chart screenshot, Zelle receipts. No adjectives. Only facts. The plan started small. But small becomes sharp. The knock always comes later. Afternoon. A housekeeping cart rolled past. Rubber wheels on tile. I searched USPS near me. 2 blocks away. I prepared a plain white envelope. Address written by hand. Inside. 1 page of transactions, my RSVP copy. I added a cover page with time and date. I laid the pen across it. 1 photo. Not for Instagram. For me. 52H. Bridesmaids posted mimosas. Family only. I clicked the pen once. January replayed. Samantha crying in urgent care. I paid. I signed. Forgotten by dinner. Evening. I walked to the blue mailbox near a deli. A woman slid in a birthday card. The slot clicked. I memorized the sound. Back in the room I sealed my envelope. Thumb pressed flat across the edge. Honest line. I placed it in my bag. 50H. My mother called again. I let it ring. It's just a wedding, she would say. She always says that when it isn't. I turned the phone face down. I opened my folder and wrote 1 phrase. Boundaries hold. 49H. I walked again to the mailbox under a crooked palm. I held the envelope above the dark. I thought of family only. I thought of petty used like a leash. I let the envelope slide. The slot clicked. Small. Sharp. Honest. Back in the room I placed the pen on the pad. 2 objects stared back. Tools, not weapons. Freedom never lasts. T48H. The first envelope was already on its way. The phone buzzed twice. Then USPS tracking ping lit the screen. My name is Claire Thompson. I'm 42. A nurse in Chicago. My sister Samantha is the bride. My mother Linda repeats. Be kind. Be bigger. I clicked my Family First pen. The screen showed. Accepted at origin. Sorting facility next. T36H until rehearsal dinner. Not waiting anymore. A countdown. Someone in that hotel hallway laughed. The sound carried through thin walls. I tightened my grip on the pen. Their laugh wasn't mine. And soon they would read my line. USPS tracking refreshed at 7:12. Status: in transit. My family first pen rested on the hotel pad. I drew one line under yesterday's date. 36H. The screen lit again. Bridesmaids posted brunch selfies. Caption: family only. Champagne glasses raised, nails pink. My sister Samantha laughed in the corner. My mother Linda's hand held a glass. They smiled like nothing was missing. Do I answer, or let them twist it again? My cousin Melissa texted. They said you refused. I typed slow. There was no invite. 3 dots pulsed. Then silence. No correction. No defense. My phone buzzed again. Linda this time. Stop making drama. You know we love you. I stared at the screen. Threats fade. Paper doesn't. I placed the phone face down. I pulled out my tote. Inside, RSVP copy, Zelle receipts, urgent care bill, the lease I co-signed. All marked in blue ink from the same pen. I pressed it against the folder cover. Plastic crackled. High school memory cut through. Samantha forgot her Bandcamp forms. Linda called me at work. Sign for her. She's overwhelmed. I signed. Always me. Never her. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. AC hummed overhead. Outside, traffic horns mixed with gulls. Miami smelled like lotion and salt. I cracked the window. Sat back on the bed. Lamp buzzed faintly. I wrote on a hotel pad. List fades. Ink stays. 30H. Melissa finally wrote again. They say you're unstable. My throat burned. I took a photo of the folder. Pen across the cover. Sent it to Melissa. No caption. Minutes later. What is that? I didn't reply. Notifications stacked from unknown numbers. All muted. My phone vibrated again. This time an email alert. Venue coordinator. Subject: updated seating chart. I clicked. My name absent. Again. Cut twice. Cuts are chosen. My hand clenched around the pen. Weight in my palm. Same weight from Zelle, urgent care, rent, ER, Bandcamp. Same weight erased by one chart. 28H. I walked to the balcony. Below, pool music thumped. Plastic cups clinked. My reflection stared back. Older than I remembered. 42 years. Nurse shifts. Always covering. Always explaining. Always left behind. I touched the pen to the railing. Cold metal. Last Christmas replayed. Samantha late. Linda excused it. She's busy. I set the table. Samantha walked in with gifts wrapped in perfect bows. Mine a scarf. Cheap. Tag still attached. That scarf now lay unworn in my drawer. 26H. I closed the balcony door. I marked each page in the folder with sticky notes. Receipt. Card. Bill. Lease. Proof. Fax. No excuses. My stomach turned. A room service cart rattled past. A knock followed 2 doors down. My shoulders tensed anyway. I kept the pen in hand. Wrote one more line. Do I show up or let silence speak? 24H. My phone buzzed again. Group photo. Samantha in dress fitting. Linda kissing her cheek. Family only. My grip tightened on the pen. The knock came. This time at my door. The knock landed again. 3 taps, a pause, one more. I stayed still. My family first pen rested on the folder's edge. Silence held longer than words. Then a man's voice, low, careful. Claire? It's Daniel. The groom. My stomach tightened without asking. He said, I won't stay long. I answered. Why are you here? Through the peephole his tie hung loose, eyes sleepless. Alicia forwarded your documents, he said. I replied. Then you know enough. He looked down. They told me you refused your invite. I said. There was no invite. His shoulders sank like the weight finally hit him. I didn't know about the rent, he whispered. Or the urgent care bills. I kept my voice even. You didn't need to know. He tried again. I thought this was old drama, I answered. It's current policy. Silence pressed between us. He said. Please don't come tomorrow. I said. I confirmed no. He exhaled, almost relieved. Thank you for not making a scene. I closed the door until the latch touched metal. Then I called through. Daniel? Take care of your side of the truth. His steps faded toward the elevator. The hallway hummed with nothing but ice buckets. 18H. My phone lit with 2 previews. Linda. Please don't embarrass Samantha. Samantha. If you loved me, you'd stay quiet. I typed nothing. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. I changed into jeans and a plain shirt. Hair tied back, folder locked in my tote. I walked to the street. Miami smelled of salt and wet pavement. A CVS opened. A bakery stacked trays. Ordinary life kept moving while mine held its breath. I stopped for black coffee. Burn taste, honest taste. Melissa texted. He asked me about the rent. I wrote. He should ask his bride. She replied. He looks wrecked. I gave no answer. V16H. I sat on a bench near the beach, opened the RSVP copy, and wrote a date in the margin, the first time I covered Samantha's lease. Linda had called from a grocery line. Help your sister. I remembered the cart squeak, coupons tearing, my own cart left waiting in another aisle. Proof doesn't fade. It collects. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I let it ring. Linda's new text. Family isn't a ledger. I whispered. Then stop adding my balance. A child chased shells, his mother catching up with ease. Their rhythm stung worse than Linda's words. I stood and carried the folder back. To 14H. The lobby smelled of citrus cleaner. A guest in a floral dress dragged a garment bag. We'll be perfect, she said into her phone. The elevator closed on my reflection. Boundaries don't sound smooth at first. They work, then they learn to sing. In the room I laid the folder on the desk. Photographed each page. Saved them in a hidden album called After. I brewed hotel coffee, cardboard smell filling the air. 2 gulps. Enough. T12H. Melissa called. On speaker she whispered. The groom's mother asked about you. I said. She can ask Daniel. Then. Do you want me there tomorrow? I said. Be wherever respect lives. She exhaled. Linda is furious. I replied. She's been furious since I learned the price of silence. Goodbye came like a step off a curb. My phone flashed again. Samantha's story, candles, plates, Linda's bracelet flashing. Caption. Practice makes perfect. I watched once, then closed it. I opened my wallet, counted bills. Rent, dues, groceries. I added one more line in my budget. Peace. Value 0. Felt rich. TNH. The AC clicked off. Silence pressed the room. I lay flat, eyes on the ceiling. The smoke detector blinked every 8 seconds. I matched my breath to it. Not sleep, just stillness. The phone vibrated again. Alicia. Venue coordinator. Subject. Rehearsal dinner update. She wrote. We moved 2 tables. Please confirm again you are not attending. I typed. Confirmed. Note this for your records. She replied. Noted. I whispered. Thank you. FitH. I showered, dressed plain, pen in pocket, folder in tote. Outside, luggage wheels echoed on the sidewalk. Samantha's text arrived from an old rideshare contact. Come tomorrow. Make mom happy. I typed. No. She replied. You love attention. I typed. I love oxygen. 3 laughing emojis came back. Then. You always make it about you. I almost wrote. I made your rent about you. Deleted it. Sent instead. Tomorrow is yours. I will not be there. She wrote. Good. Don't contact Daniel again. My jaw tightened. I typed. He knocked on my door. Her reply came fast. Stop lying. I pocketed the phone. The 6H. Back in the hotel room, the air felt colder. My tote sat where I left it. Folder steady. Pen on top. The security latch on the door hung loose. I lifted it, dropped it once. Small final sound. Then another underneath. Paper sliding across carpet. An envelope pushed into my room. My name in Linda's careful handwriting. Return address. Her house in Illinois. I held it 3 breaths. Didn't open. My phone vibrated again. A new notification filled the screen. Marriage license, signature issue. The subject line glared like a small siren. Marriage license signature issue. I held Linda's envelope unopened and breathed steady. My Family First pen lay across the folder's spine. I placed both on the desk and opened the email. The county clerk flagged a mismatch on a witness signature. A scanned line carried my name shaky and bent. It wasn't mine. I knew my strokes better than my pulse. 4H. I dialed the clerk and stood by the window. The skyline burned pale behind cranes and slow clouds. A woman answered, calm and exact. Name and birth date, she said. I gave both. Did you witness the couple sign yesterday? I replied. No. I wasn't invited. Keys clicked in the background. We received a scanned witness line as Claire Thompson. I said. That's not my signature. She asked. Will you submit a statement? I answered. Yes. Now. She sent a secure link. I opened my folder, photographed my driver's license, my signature on at least 2 dated receipts with clear card signatures. I typed one line. I did not sign this license and did not witness. I clicked submit. A confirmation page appeared with timestamp and code. Proof now lived beyond my room and body. My phone buzzed lighter as if it knew. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. The envelope still waited with Linda's careful hand. I didn't open it yet. First, I forwarded the clerk receipt to Alicia. I wrote, hold any processing until resolved. Her reply came fast, clipped and professional. Received. Ceremony paperwork paused. 3H. Melissa called, voice rushed. They're scrambling. Groom's mother wants answers. I said, there's a license issue. She whispered. They said you forged something. I laughed once dry. I just signed truth. She asked, should I stay away? I said, stand where you're respected. She exhaled and cut the call. Only then did I open Linda's envelope. The flap side open. Inside, a folded floral card. In her schoolteacher script. Family isn't a ledger. Please for your sister be gracious. Behind it, a photocopy of the seating chart. My name printed small at a table labeled overflow. In pencil, someone had written an O under it twice. I placed both next to the folder. 2H. Alicia called, voice faster now. The clerk contacted the planner. They can hold the ceremony but not sign. I said. That's between them and the law. She asked. Do you want to send a note to Samantha? I looked at the card with an O. One line, I said. On the hotel pad I wrote. I did not witness. I did not sign. Proceed without my name. I sent a photo to Alicia, folded the note for Melissa. My hand shook once and then steadied. 9 Samantha texted from her rideshare alias. You won't ruin today. I didn't answer. Then. Mom says you forged records. I stared, felt nothing rise. Not anger. Not grief. Only ink holding the line. I replied. The clerk has my sworn statement. She fired back. You always wanted attention. I put the phone face down and poured packet coffee. Bitter steam filled the room. 6 Daniel called. No text first. I answered because he had knocked honestly. His voice cracked. The officiant is refusing to sign the license. I said. That's correct if the witness is disputed. He whispered. Samantha is telling everyone you're punishing her. I replied. I am protecting my name. Silence stretched heavy. Should I delay the ceremony? He asked. I said. That's your choice. Your family. He exhaled, broken. I didn't know, Claire. I didn't know. I answered. Learn now. And keep it. 45 I printed the clerk receipt at the business center. Paper slid warm, barcode stamped. I slipped it into the folder. I bought stamps at the deli, mailed a copy to myself. Paper travels when batteries die. Back under the awning, a bridesmaid hurried past in slippers, perfume trailing. 30 Alicia emailed. Ceremony will proceed. License on hold. I aligned the folder, checked my wallet, checked my comm. I wrote one more line in my budget app. Piece still $0. The balance felt honest. 20 Melissa texted a photo outside the venue. White chairs under a cloudy sky. An arch buried in roses. She wrote. They look angry. I replied. Anger breaks fast. Paper holds. She sent a thumb and a blue heart. DNM. My room hummed like a waiting machine. I zipped the tote halfway. I didn't plan to attend. I planned to be ready. I touched the pen-etched words still clear. Family first. The joke in the oath. Then a shadow shifted under my door. Paper slid across carpet, marked with a county seal in blue. A red stamp crooked in the corner. Hold placed, witness disputed. My phone rang. The name on the screen wasn't Melissa, Linda, or Daniel. It was the officiant calling from the venue steps. The phone kept ringing. The officiant's name glared across the screen. I let it buzz 4 times before answering. His voice was strained. Miss Thompson, your name is disputed here. I said. It should be. That's not my signature. He cleared his throat. They want me to proceed regardless. I replied. Do what law allows, not what family demands. A pause long enough to feel weight. You may be contacted by authorities, he said. I answered. That's fine. My sworn statement is filed. The line cut, silence heavier than before. I set the phone down. The county envelope still lay sealed. I slid it into the folder and pressed the zipper closed. 4H. A new notification blinked, Samantha's story. White roses, aisle chairs, text across the image. Some people can't stand others' happiness. Below a poll, ignore her? Yes/no. I stared until it vanished. I pressed the pen so hard the tip cracked. Proof survives. Performances don't. Melissa texted. Don't check social. They're smearing you. I wrote back. Already did. It changes nothing. She replied, it looks bad. I answered, that's temporary. Paper lasts. 3H. My coworker Rachel called from the clinic. Her voice shook. Claire, are you okay? People are posting your name. I said, I'm okay. Don't worry. She whispered. They're saying forgery. I replied. Then they better spell it right when the clerk clears me. She tried again. Do you need anything? I said. I need truth to keep breathing. The line ended. I opened the folder, underlined each receipt. Rent, copay, lease, proof stacked like a spine. Flashback cut sharp. Junior high open house. Samantha forgot permission slips. Linda turned to me. Just sign for her. You know her name well enough. I signed. Always me. Never her. Now my name bent against a license I never touched. 2H. A text from Linda. Family doesn't go to war in public. I typed. Family doesn't erase its own. Her reply came fast, you're sick. I placed the phone face down. I dressed again, plain jacket, calm shoes. The tote weighed steady at my side. 9 I walked 3 blocks toward the venue. Guests gathered at the entrance, voices lifted over traffic. I slowed across the street, stayed in shadow. My phone buzzed. Melissa again. Linda told everyone you forged. Guests whisper. I wrote. Let them whisper. Proof holds. She asked, do you want me to leave? I replied, stand where respect stands. She sent a blue heart. I lingered at the corner. A planner rushed out with a clipboard, phone pressed to her ear. She scanned the street but didn't see me. I turned back toward the hotel. 60 The lobby pulsed with perfume and nervous sweat. Guests in satin and suits filled the air with noise. I moved toward the elevator, but a staff member stopped me. Miss Thompson? Security needs a word. My chest tightened once. He led me to a side hall. 2 uniformed men waited. One said, bride filed a complaint. I asked, on what grounds? He replied, forgery, disruption risk. I stayed cold. Then speak with the county clerk. He said, we need you to remain in your room until further notice. I nodded once and walked back alone. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. 30 I paced the room 3 times. Checked the folder again. Pages clean, stamped, factual. The pen lay across the cover like a seal. I sat near the door listening. Voices passed in the hall. Laughter trailed, then a child's cry. Down below, faint music began, strings processional. 10 My phone buzzed. Alicia's name. Ceremony starting. License on hold. I typed, thank you. I slid the pen into my pocket and closed my eyes. Then came the heavy thud against my door. Once. Twice louder. A man's voice called through wood. Claire Thompson? Police. The pounding shook the door. Claire Thompson? Police. My tote strap cut into my palm. The Family First pin pressed against my skin through fabric. I opened the latch. 2 officers stepped in, uniforms damp from Miami air. One said, "We received a complaint of forged documents." I answered, "Then you also received the clerk's hold notice." I handed over the folder, edges straight, pages marked. The younger officer flipped through receipts, lease, RSVP copy. His jaw shifted, but he spoke nothing. The older one scanned the first page, barcode clear in the corner. He said, "We'll need a statement." I replied, "Already filed online. Timestamp and code included." He nodded once. "Remain available for follow-up." They left without cuffs, without threats, only silence trailing down the hall. The 0H. Music swelled below, then faltered. I stepped onto the balcony and looked down. Guests shifted in white chairs. The officiant stood stiff under the arch. Samantha clutched Daniel's hand, lips sharp, not tender. Linda hunched near the front row. A planner rushed forward, papers in hand. Murmurs rippled. Phones lit with alerts. Word spread fast. "License held, ceremony symbolic only." A guest whispered, "What does that mean?" Another replied, "It means not legal." The officiant closed his folder, shook his head, stepped back. Samantha's face flushed red enough to break through makeup. She spun, scanning rows, searching shadows. I stayed above, unseen, pin cold in my palm. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. Melissa texted from the crowd. "They're saying your name again." "Everyone knows." I replied. "Let them know truth, not rumor." She wrote, "It's over." She's screaming at Linda now. The strings stopped. Guests stood confused, some leaving early. The arch swayed in sudden wind. Roses scattered, petals crushed under shoes. I stepped back inside. I opened the hotel pad, wrote one line. "Family cuts are chosen. So are boundaries." I folded it into the folder, zipped the tote. Evening dimmed into Miami dusk. My phone buzzed once more. Unknown Illinois number. I let it ring and powered the phone off. Silence filled the room like clean air. I placed the pin inside the folder, then stood by the window. Staff below cleared chairs, stacked them fast. Samantha and Linda were gone. Only Daniel remained, standing under sagging roses. He bent, picked one up, then let it fall. I whispered, "Not for them, only for me. Cuts aren't random. Cuts are chosen." I picked up my bag, left the key on the desk and walked out. No note. No apology. Just proof behind me and silence ahead. At the curb, a taxi idled. The driver asked, "Airport?" I nodded once. The tote sat firm against my leg. Proof traveled with me. Presence didn't matter anymore. Dignity did. Subscribe if you want more stories about real men who don't scream. They act coldly to the end.